Wasting time might just be the greatest thing in the world sometimes. Taking breaks and indulging in fun allows your body and brain a chance to refresh and potentially improve your performance over the long term. However, the problem's not when you're wanting to kick back. The problem is when you're wasting time without even knowing it. So, future billionaire, keep on watching till the end to learn more about the 15 things that you might be wasting your time on.
But before we begin, make sure to hit the like button and join the Future Billionaires Club by subscribing to our channel and ringing the notification bell to stay up to date with our classy uploads.
Checking email habits. You're undoubtedly wasting time on email without even knowing it because it requires too much time to draft your notes, causing your email conversations to escalate to unmanageable levels, or encouraging unproductive connections to interfere with your day. We spend around 6.3 hours a day checking email, and it's almost inevitable that a ton of wasted time is going into your inbox. The best way to quantify how much time you're putting in is to use an analytics app, like Email Analytics, to evaluate your email behaviors to figure out how much time you're spending in your emails. When you understand the trouble zones, come up with a strategy to fix them. The inability to say no. It's hard to say no to anything, especially when it's a new job role or a group meeting with one of your closest mates. Unfortunately, every yes you give is a new section of time you're gonna have to spend doing something that may or may not be helpful to you in the long run. Saying no could free up hours of your time with each instance, so as long as you're polite and respectful, there would definitely be no repercussions. Slow decision making. You spend more time in a state of indecision than you know. You might have an internal debate as to whether to start the project now, or at maybe 4 p.m., or just wait to start it tomorrow morning. You might not be taking progress on any mission because you realize that there's a chance that you may be delegating it in the future. Under any scenario, any minute you spend worrying about your decision is a possible waste of time. Assuming that there's no new information to consider, aim to make faster decisions, and you'll immediately cut your life's waste of this time. Social media and other apps. How often do you check your social network accounts throughout the day, or notice yourself roaming around in that new game you've downloaded? Chances are you spend more time on these deliberately time-consuming devices than you should. Luckily, there are ways to establish time limits on yourself so that you can reduce the time using these apps to a defined, rational number. If you're using an iOS device, you can use Apple's guided access to restrict access to other apps on your phone. Or if you're running Android, you can use an app like App Detox to set careful limits on specific apps that you know will waste your time. Working without breaks. In the middle of a working day, it's normal to assume that spending only one more hour at work instead of taking a lunch break would result in higher productivity, but that's not always the case. Going so long without a break can make it difficult for you to concentrate on work, which ensures that a job that normally takes 30 minutes would now take 45 minutes or longer. Evidence shows that optimal job break cycle is operating for 52 minutes and stopping for 17. But that can differ based on the nature of job you perform and, of course, the practical preferences. The bottom line is, you ought to take frequent breaks during the day if you want to make the best of your working hours. Otherwise, you're gonna waste your time. Complaining. Everybody complains from time to time, whether it's a cathartic venting session or an attempt to obtain mutual sympathy for a specific issue. Sadly, complaining is a bad way to invest your time. Complaints usually won't help you feel comfortable at all, and they won't do much to improve the problems that made you so upset. Build an action item instead of complaining. For example, if you're upset because you're trapped in traffic, make a mental note that you'll be leaving for work earlier tomorrow. Or when the deli got your order incorrect, opt to visit the deli next time. Or if your software doesn't function properly, momentarily move on to another task. Getting distracted from notifications. Distractions can seem to consume just a few seconds of your energy, but a study indicated that it takes more than 23 minutes to completely regain your concentration when you get distracted. Notifications from things like email and instant message platforms, regardless of their intended purpose, will almost certainly take you away from any task you're focusing on. Try shutting them off. You may be offline for a couple of hours, but you're sure to get a lot more accomplished. Based on your workplace culture, you might need to give a constructive heads up to let people realize where and about how long you're offline. Wasting time commuting. If you're not working from home, you waste time commuting every morning. With the average time in the United States about 25 minutes either direction, this undoubtedly implies that you're spending about 5 hours a week on the required journey. Since there's no way to get rid of that time, your best strategy here is to optimize optimize the time. Taking public transport could free up your hands and attention so that you could focus on working on your way in and saving you money at the same time. Riding your bike to work too can save you a trip to the gym later. And if you're still commuting, you can take hands-free phone calls or catch up with audiobooks to make the most of every minute. Meetings are just prime opportunities for time wasting because they involve so many people, are often poorly organized, or take up a significant part of your day. The average worker spends a third of his time in meetings, and that time is often spent unproductively. When you spend 9 hours a day at work, that's equal to 3 hours a day at seminars or 15 hours a week. Imagine that you slash the number of meetings you held in half. Or if you should shorten the hour-long meetings to 30-minute sessions, you would potentially save 7.5 hours a week. Turn the meetings into email alerts and keep information flowing. Spending more time on regaining your losses. Human beings are prone to something called sunk cost fallacy. It's a cognitive tendency that makes us unwilling to reduce our losses on ventures and battles that we've already deeply invested in. For example, let's assume you spend 10 hours working on a new promotional campaign, but you're not yielding above average returns. Logically, you'd be better off moving into an alternative approach. But since you've already wasted too much time on it, you may be forced to invest even more time in an attempt to regain your losses. Understanding how to reduce your losses and get out early will save you many hours and thousands of dollars at that, doing tasks all by yourself. Most modern professionals are hesitant to delegate on the belief that teaching others to do the work will take longer than completing the job themselves. There might be some truth to that, but it's a short-term strategy. Teaching somebody to perform a constantly repeated job is an opportunity that can prevent you from ever needing to do it again. You could be losing time in training today, but you will avoid time losses indefinitely in the future. Don't worry about delegating the low-priority duties because it translates to you having more time to focus doing what you enjoy best. Multitasking. Multitasking is known to hurt your efficiency with any job you attempt to coordinate. In other words, completing one activity at a time is a more successful choice. It may seem that managing 2 separate windows at the same time is the most productive thing to do, but it puts undue stress on your brain and probably reduces the quality of your work in both areas. Instead, work on only one job at a time. You'll make less errors and you'll actually wind up completing all the tasks quicker anyway. Unorganized files. Whether you manage a physical workplace or all of your important files are digitally stored, organization matters. If you spend an additional 5 minutes each time you try to hunt down a piece of detail, you won't be able to accomplish much of your tasks you set in a day. Spending an hour to thoroughly reorganize your office would save you more than an hour of time in the long run. And if you're already dealing with paper file systems, suggest converting to a cloud-based program. It's hard to beat the productivity of a digitally assisted search. Setting an impossible goal. The standard advice is to shoot for the moon, aiming for high goals to inspire you to do better. But the constant struggle to achieve these high goals could be counterproductive. Not only can you waste hours on activities that are not suited for your own skills, you might end up undermining your own values because you don't accomplish them. After all, the true path to success is to set reasonable goals, both for yourself and the people around you. Setting smaller, more attainable deadlines can enable you to make more effective use of your resources and encourage you to establish more practical timelines. Impressing others. Whether it's about changing how you look, how you dress, and how you speak, impressing others with a facade is truly a waste of time. Why would you change your true nature just to impress the people around you? It might probably take a few hours before you achieve something that is desirable and pleasing to others. You should live a life that is beyond others' expectations. Don't dress to impress. Just make a statement of who you are and what kind of style you have. You are you. And it's better to just be someone different but original. It doesn't matter if other people are not impressed with how you look. The main thing is that you are impressed with yourself. In that case, you can save lots of time from thinking of what you should wear, how you should look, and how you should carry yourself. That was extremely enlightening. So, future billionaire, which of these things do you actually waste your time with? Let us know by leaving a comment below. And because you're still here, we got some bonus info for you guys. Here are the 6 scary facts about time wasting. Number 1, the average company spends 16 days a year searching for paper documents. Number 2, the average person spends 35 minutes commuting every day. Number 3, senior managers spend at least 23 hours in meetings every week. Number 4, the average person gets experience one interruption every 8 minutes. Number 5. Over 40% of employees spend at least 25% of their week on data entry. And number 6. Every hour of TV watching cuts 22 minutes off of your lifespan.
Thanks for watching, Future Billionaire. Enjoyed what you saw? Deposit a like. And be sure to join the Future Billionaires Club by hitting subscribe and ringing the notification bell to keep up to date with our entertaining uploads. And check out these other amazing videos we've selected for you next.